then it'll be Hulu or On Demand.
Yeah. I can.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Facebook Live here at IndieWire. My name is Steve Green. I'm a member of the TV team here. We are here with the wonderful Hank Azaria to talk about Brockmire, his IFC comedy that airs on Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow night will be episode 5 of this first season. So far in season 1, if people are sort of jumping in, I feel like that's a nice way to sort of get into the show, is that you can sort of jump in. You don't have to sort of watch from the beginning. Would you agree with that?
No, I do not. I
Okay.
prefer you watch from the beginning.
Okay.
Don't be lazy. What are you doing? You have other stuff to do? Watch from the beginning. No, you could jump in anywhere, of course. But the show actually has a very strong narrative, which is unusual for a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in this lovely digital world we live in now, you could easily start from the beginning and catch up either on demand or DVR or whatever it is you kids do these days.
Yeah, and so you play Jim Brockmire, who is a sort of down on his luck baseball announcer with his own bobblehead, who is making a comeback of sorts with a minor league team.
Yes.
Yes. So you are obviously a big baseball fan.
Yes.
It must be nice to be able to sort of use your own passions and own interests to sort of help inform a character.
Yes, I'd be following baseball anyway, so it's fun to actually put it to use. But this was more of a fascination with baseball announcers, and specifically this, what I call the generic baseball announcer voice, especially in the 1970s. So as a vocal guy, which I am, I kind of got cued into that and wondered if these guys always sound like that. And then really, baseball, every once in a while gets used. I mean, baseball sort of, Jim Brockmire kind of embodies baseball, and in that sense sort of embodies America in a way, and as sometimes is done in movies, TV and books and literature. And he's sort of this antiquated guy who's trying to find his way into the modern world on several levels, much like baseball.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's hilarious.
Yes, it is. And we are taking your questions live. If you would like to ask a question about the show, please let us know.
Or anything, really.
Or anything, yeah. If you
Science, technology, religion.
Yeah, if you want to ask about weather patterns, we'll take that too.
Meteorology. I'm a licensed meteorologist. Licensed. You don't want to operate illegally.
No, absolutely not.
No.
One thing I wanted to ask about the show, just because it's something that you get to really play around with, is that Brockmire exists in different states of drunkenness over the course of the show.
That's accurate.
Yeah, and sometimes he's functioning, sometimes he's falling over his desk. I feel like it's a tricky thing for comedians to do, is to be able to sort of play that without having it be too sort of goofy, and you're able to sort of go through all those stages and have it believable at each one. How do you do that?
Years of research.
Okay.
Years of attention to detail of every single phase possible in the drunken process. That is a thing that is typically difficult for actors. I always found. I think that honestly, years of practice. I was only half joking about that answer. Years of practice. Like after a while, you sort of get a feel for how to do that.
Because it's not just in the voice; it's in your movement too. Like
It's a body thing, and it's in the last few years that I felt like, oh, my drunk's gotten pretty good.
There you go.
Helps to be actually drunk almost constantly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And someone who's right there with you in some of these scenes is Amanda Peet.
Yes.
Who plays Jules in the show, the team owner. I feel like some of the best scenes in the show are really the ones where you guys just sort of get to riff and sort of be the romantic couple.
The drunken louts that we are.
In whatever state you guys happen to be at the time.
I mean, the way Jim Brockmire professes his unsentimental yet quite romantic love for Amanda is by saying, I think he says to her, baseball makes me want to exist, but you make me want to live, and we both seem to have the same exact level of functional alcoholism. So, that might be the only time those words were ever said as a profession of love. But accurate. They do seem to have the same exact level of functional alcoholism.
Yeah, and that's,
which is explored a lot in the show.
And that's one of the things I like about your characters. The two of you sort of have these sort of shared history, or individually you have these histories where you don't really get into sort of the past. Really, you kind of accept how each other are in the present.
There are two people who don't really want to, for different reasons, go back into their own pasts. Want to stay in the drunken present, and kind of the only way they can deal with the present is by being pretty drunk, each for their own reasons. One of the reasons I think Amanda was drawn to it is she's not the girl. She's not there to prop up Jim Brockmire's journey. In some ways, he's there to prop up her journey. And my favorite episode, episode 6, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, is driven. It's actually more of an Amanda episode, more of a Jules episode than Brockmire one. And it's my favorite, and we couldn't believe she did it. We offered it to her, and it's because of that, because it's written to be this independent woman.
Yeah,
very surprising. I was this show. I thought it was a funny idea. The idea of a baseball announcer loses his mind is a comedic idea I had for a long time. We did the short at Funny or Die that the show's based on, and that's kind of what I had to say with it. Like, isn't this a kind of funny, well-observed joke? And it was Joel Church Cooper who kind of saw these layers of, romance and alcoholism, and Brockmire as a metaphor for baseball, as a metaphor for America, all these layers underneath, and all I was insisting on was it being believable and hard laughs, which he delivered. And it wasn't honestly until we started acting it that I was like, wait, this is kind of emotional and intense and raw.
To it.
There is, which sneaks up on you, snuck up on me. I didn't realize until I was playing. I'm like, that was I feel like I'm in a drama right now.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love this. Is my favorite thing I've ever done.
Oh, well, I think some people might agree with you, including people
Do we have
who
questions
might have
now?
a question.
Have we killed enough time, America? Because I was running out of things to say to this guy.
Well, you kind of touched on this a little bit when you were talking about Funny or Die, but Ken McBain, yes, asked how well
How
developed.
dare you send the question to McBain? Sorry.
I mean, you love that. How well developed was the character when you began shooting the series? Because it seems like it's been around a while, so maybe.
Yeah. Well, it was an idea for literally decades that I had, and a voice I was doing for a long time. Then we did the Funny or Die short, as I said, about 8 years ago. And then Joel Church Cooper, the guy who wrote and most of the episodes, and we teamed up not long after the short, and we would do public appearance, like when Brockmire, I would appear as Jim Brockmire on NFL Network or on TBS promoting the baseball playoffs, whatever. And Joel wrote all of those, and or I would they sent me out at Media Week at the Super Bowl as asking obnoxious questions. And we sort of refined what kind of worked as the character during that period of time. But really, we didn't know until we shot the series how it was going to play, if it could sustain as the center of a story, really, beyond a few minutes, or as beyond jokes, It's really a testament to Joel's writing, I mean, I did my part and everything, but Joel really knocked it out of the park, if you pardon the pun. And Tim Kirkby as well, our director, didn't just, he's very gifted at finding the believable, raw, emotional humanity going on while not losing any pace or any jokes. So those two guys were a great, very potent combination.
And with characters, not just your character and Amanda's character, but guys like Johnny the Hat, who
everybody
you get to see in the episode that airs tomorrow night.
In that bar where Johnny the Hat is and Amanda is, and we all are at some point because we're drinking pretty heavily, I had just done a take that I was pretty happy with. There's a lot of ways you can go with this character. I would do some takes where I was just aware of making sure that I sounded as baseball announcer as possible, because that's funny. And Tim the director would often remind me, he's a British guy. He'd come in and say, "Man, that was good, but look around, man. Look at Johnny the Hat. Everyone's in real pain in here. Everywhere you look, it's just human tragedy, mate. Let's feel that one on this one." And that was a necessary element to all of this as well. It led to some really funny moments as well.
Definitely. Another question from Facebook.
From McBain.
If only. Robin Chester, she has 2 comments and then she has a question. One is, hi from the Bronx. The other one is, love the bobblehead. And then, have you been to Yankee Stadium lately?
I have been to Yankee Stadium lately. A little shout out to the Bronx. Gonna be honest with you. Is it Robin?
Robin.
Yeah, it's the Robin. First of all, I'm a Mets guy. I'm from Queens, so let's just full disclosure. But Yankee Stadium, I think they dropped the ball a little bit with the current Yankee Stadium. I miss the old Yankee Stadium. It's a little corporate, and it feels like the aisles, the food concessions are much larger, and the point of the place more than the field and the stadium. I'm not a fan of the new Yankee Stadium. I'm sorry.
Well, Brian would like to know, deep dish or thin crust?
Well, what am I? Who am I? Chicago? Who am I? Dennis Franz over here. Thin crust. Come on. What are you talking about? Deep dish. We have Pizzeria Uno in New York, which is our little deep dish fix. But no, I'll go Sicilian. Now that's the New York version of the thick crust. He must be from Chicago, that guy there.
Very possibly. Brian Geary. Hold on.
Yeah. I mean, while we're sort of looking for more questions.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just scrolling through. When did you first meet Amanda P. and how has your opinion changed over the course of shooting the show?
Do you still like her?
I first met Amanda. I'm good friends with Matthew Perry. I met Amanda way back around when Whole 9 Yards was coming out. And I've met her over the years. She's remained good friends with Matthew. And always liked her. But your opinion changes of someone when you are mostly naked, pretending to have sex on top of them while calling it like a baseball announcer. That changes quite literally, your whole view of someone. I've seen her from angles that possibly even her husband has it. Who knows? So she's awesome. She was really game and excellent. My opinion of her is only, been raised, and it was pretty high to begin with.
First of all, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for sharing
I'm
it with
78 years old.
You don't look a day over 72.
Thanks a lot. 78. 78 years young.
Zach asks, what other characters of yours would you love to break out and devote one TV show to, and why?
It's been in my head lately. It's funny you asked that, Zach. The Birdcage seems to be standing the test of time. I think I hear more about that movie now than I ever have. I'm not sure why. And I played a guy named Agador in that. It might be interesting to do a show about Agador, Spartacus. Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. I've been thinking about that lately. I've dropped my water cap.
We've got others.
All right. I gotta pick that up. No, it's too far away. Never mind. I think that might be an interesting character in Cable is awesome because you can delve into these characters so fully, and you can be really funny, but you can also be very real. It can be as raw and dirty as you want it to be. I think Agador might lend itself to that kind of treatment, but I'm open to suggestions, premise ideas for Agador, Spartacus.
Well, yeah, and Brockmire's a 8-episode first season. You guys have been picked a first season too.
Yeah.
So that that shorter time frame kind of lets you sort of work through a lot of ideas quicker and without having to sort of figure out the whole show over a really long run of episodes right off the bat.
Yeah, 8 is more manageable, and it's one of the many great things about cable is your season is as long as it feels like it needs to be.
Yeah.
If you need 12 episodes to tell it, great. If you need 6 to tell it, okay. It's awesome. It's such a, having worked in television for 30 years, the level of creative freedom you have now is really thrilling. Of course, nobody can figure out how to get paid, which is why the writers might strike very soon. But that's another story for another time.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
John Lucas would like to know, have you ever caught a ball at a game, home run, foul ball, anything?
Good question.
First of all, John, big fan of your brother George. Second of all, no, my buddy Ernie actually, did he get 2 balls in one game? Did Ernie get 2 balls in one game that game? It was just one? It was one of those, like, it bounced everywhere, like a pinball, and then landed right at his feet. My buddy Ernie is so honest and sweet that, people were applauding, and he was announcing, "I did nothing! Really! I did nothing! It just raw." It's like, I don't think they care. They're just happy for you. You don't have to apologize for your souvenir grabbing.
So that's the key. You got to go to a game where there's a lot of empty stands, where there's a lot of surfaces that could bounce off to where it could go right to you.
Yes.
You don't have to. Doesn't have to go directly to you.
No, in fact, you got to play it off the carom, as they say. I'll tell you. Once I was at the old Yankee Stadium. I was about 10 or 11 years old, and I was with my who was going to be my brother-in-law, but at the time was my sister's boyfriend, and Roy White, old Yankee, used to play, I believe, left field for the Yankees. Anyway, we're in the left field bleachers. Roy White was up, and he hit a bullet. He hit just a foul, like just a line drive foul ball that was headed right at my head. Like, I watched it just get larger and larger and larger in my frame, as it were, and I was completely frozen. I was just sitting there like that, watching this ball come in my head, and my brother-in-law stood up at the last minute, and it hit him right in the thigh, saving my brain. And he had the nastiest bruise for so long. You could see the baseball stitching in the bruise. It was like in the show, and when Pedro Uribe shows off his bruise with stitching and Rawlings spelled backwards, it was really actually just like that.
Great.
Who are your all-time favorite baseball announcers?
Who are my all-time favorite baseball announcers? I really love Jack Buck. I grew up with those Mets guys, Bob Murphy, Lindsey Nelson, Ralph Kiner, who I don't know were my favorite announcers, but certainly were the voices of my childhood. I used to love it. It used to be really fun when I was a kid when Howard Cosell would do a game. And I used to love those guys from the 70s, like Kurt Gowdy, Tony Kubek, all those guys, probably too young. But great baseball guys, Joe Garagiola, Tim McCarver for a while. But I love, all those guys. And, John Miller is the current, he does a lot of national games, and he's, I think, the local Giants guy.
Correct.
Brockmire is the closest modern is to John Miller.
Yes.
John Miller's a little more polished and a little even deeper than Brockmire, I think. But John Miller is a singular talent. Brockmire is kind of more of I consider like a hack voice, whereas John Miller's the only distinctive, really great announcer that really kind of has that vocal quality. Because the rest, like the Vin Scullys and the rest of those guys, and Gary Cohn in New York, who's terrific. Gary Cohn's got an announcer lilt to his voice, but nothing's put on about their voices. They're just originals.
And John Miller, a great impressionist in his own right.
Is he?
If you have not seen the video of John Miller doing Vin Scully, check that out.
I gotta.
It's
hear
pretty.
that.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
You cannot love Vin Scully, but it's so typical to say Vin Scully. I figured out.
There you
Jude would like to know, are you sad as she is that Huff only had 2 seasons?
Well, first of all, hey, Jude. Sorry. No, I was not. That was a very difficult show to make. Although I did feel like we had just hit our stride, and I just figured out how to make it not so difficult to make, and then they pulled the plug on us. But it wasn't. It was very well reviewed, and it had a big cult following, but it didn't get a lot of viewers. So there's sort of a social Darwinism to Hollywood, where if people don't look at your show, they tend to yank it.
Well, that was right as premium cable was kind of, everybody was trying to figure that out too. I feel like
It's true. I think that show was a little bit ahead of its time. I think if it came out now, it probably, and Showtime has a much better idea of how to market shows like that better now. But they were waiting for their first breakout hit, which Huff was not. What was? It came not long after. Was it?
you had the Big C, you had Nurse Jackie maybe.
Was that Showtime?
Yeah, I think so.
Wasn't that HBO? Or Showtime?
Showtime.
Okay, it might have been Nurse Jackie. Well, they had one of those became the show that they could. Although Huff had its fair share of Emmy nominations and a couple of wins. I thought once we did that we would have lasted, but you know.
But now you're doing Brockmire.
All's well that ends well.
You get a bobblehead now.
I got a bobblehead. There's no Huff bobblehead. That would have been a weird bobblehead. It would have been a very depressing bobblehead. It wouldn't have bobbled. It just would have kind of stared at the ground.
I think we got time for a couple more questions.
McBain, the return of
Again,
McBain.
Oh, McBain's back.
What is with this guy? Why do you encourage him?
So he wants confirmation first, and then the question is, so Brockmire leaked the Halloween pic of his Kansas City broadcasting partner, right? And then he asked, will we learn more about that?
I never even thought of that. You're reading a lot in here. That's a good thought, though. I wish I'd had that as an actor's secret. He might as well have, given how much he bailed on the guy and didn't help him out. But no, I don't think so. I think it was pure opportunism. I don't think he went quite as far as to plant, as to, railroad the guy.
Well, it's a possible season 2 storyline.
Typical question comics from McBain.
Yeah, we got one more from Facebook. Yeah.
Will the Blue Raja ever return?
I doubt it. Blue Raja is, of course, referring to the Master of Silverware, Fawkes' speciality. My character from Mystery Men. Mystery Men might be an interesting cable television series.
I think that's right for an expansion of the universe.
That movie also has oddly stood the test of time. Maybe not quite as much as The Birdcage, but has a cult following. I doubt we could reunite those actors, though. That might be difficult.
Yeah. Well, there's always a chance. Well, we can't let you go without asking about the Mets. You're a big Mets fan. Any thoughts on the season going forward? It's been a bit of a rough start, but
they started off 7-3, and they dropped 8 out of 9. They're injured again. They're dinged up. That didn't take long. Travis Darno. Yoenis is now hurt as well. Lucas Duda's a bit dinged up. Wilmer has a knee infection.
when it rains, it pours.
Struble sat out a little bit. Although, they're better than their record indicates. I mean, that was rough getting swept by the Nats, but their starting pitching does look very good. Mm-hmm. Their bullpens let them down a bit. I am overall still optimistic, but leave it to the Mets to just, seriously, there's no reason, because even like an ass start for them would be like, they're around 500, which they basically are. They're 3 games under, but leave it to the Mets to have a bad enough streak in their first 20 games to make their fan base completely panicked. And to put themselves in a hole really early, because the Nats are playing really well. And I'll tell you something, every time Daniel Murphy beats us, it seems like he does every other game, but it's just like a dagger to the heart.
It's in his contract, he has to hit grand slams against the...
I don't know why he's so motivated. I mean, it's not like the Mets did him dirty or anything. They made a qualifying offer. The guy made he got a big offer from the Nats, and he took it. Mets fans all wished him well, kind of thing. It's not like, does he have to murder us like that? I mean, my goodness.
Well, Well, we're looking forward to season 2. All the Daniel Murphy insults being hurled by Hank Azaria as Jim Brockmire.
Daniel Murphy. Yeah, I think he should be the next guy that Brockmire hates.
There you go. There you go.
Musburger, Joe Button, now Daniel Murphy. I am tired of that punk ass bitch.
Well, if it happens, you'll see it on IFC. New episodes are airing Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Episode 5 is airing tomorrow night. Catch up as Brockmire himself would like you to do. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. They get better. Please watch, really. My favorite thing I've ever done. Guaranteed laughs. I promise you, if you watch one, you'll keep watching. I guarantee it.
There you go.
Like Joe Namath in 1969. Very good.